The Mobilization 2023 will happen in Russia soon. The Mobilization 2023 will start on January 19th, in a few days. The Mobilization 2023 will be much better organized, much more effective, with many more men called up, meaning eventually many more people will be killed both in Russia and in Ukraine. That will happen. Oh, this is terrible. It's coming up. It's clear it'll happen, and I don't know what to do. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where I give you daily news updates, significant events, coverage, and things inside Russia that you won't find anywhere else. Usual Russia explained by the unusual Russian. That's me. Today I will discuss a hugely important topic, Mobilization 2023. It is huge. Along with the total war announcement, and there will be total war announcement soon. This going to be the biggest and most tragic events for both Russia and Ukraine in this year. Putting all other results aside that, will come out of these two events, it is pretty, I can't even say safe, but it's pretty obvious that the results will be more deaths on both sides. Both Russians and Ukrainians. More people, more blood. Again, this is horrifying. I know it'll happen. I don't know what to do about that. Time is ticking. Let me tell you a little bit about what I think of this new Mobilization 2.0, the upgraded, improved version. I'm going to tell you how I see it'll be different from what happened 3 months ago in 2022, and why I think it's going to be much more effective, and why, at the end, I'll tell you why I think it'll happen on January 17th. Vladimir Putin announced mobilization in the morning of September 21st. 3 months ago. A little over 3 months ago. That mobilization turned out half disaster for Russia and disaster for many Russians. Well, disaster for Russians, obviously, for the ones who were mobilized and killed. How else can I describe that? But for the country, it was half disaster. The official news, the government officials announced that it was a success. The plans were to mobilize 300,000 people, and they actually were mobilized. Hang on. Some kind of problem with sound. There you go. 300,000 people were mobilized, and we had all the officials came out and said, well, it's a success. Vladimir Putin himself said that. Ministry of Defense Sergei Shoigu said that. The disastrous part, well, the thing is, the officials, they never told us. They told us that around 300,000 people were mobilized, but they never told her how many people out of those 300,000 have been killed, okay? Obviously a lot, but we don't know. The disastrous part is that how many fathers, how many husbands, how many sons will not come back home in Russia and in Ukraine as the result of this mobilization? This is obviously direct disaster, Disaster for Russia is that mobilization has not changed anything. Ukraine keeps on pushing, and Russian troops keep on regrouping, albeit at a slower pace, but nothing happened. No breakthrough happened. Meanwhile, Russia has lost over 2 million able, full of men, full of energy, professional, with self-confidence, people who work, people who are active, people who do not fear to get up, get packed, and go, And this is, if this isn't a disaster, then you please tell me what disaster is. Among these two things, people killed and people lost. How do I know? Well, I'm witnessing every single day. I'm part of this group. I'm part of 2 million. I left Russia as well, and I'm seeing lots of good Russians around me. Every single person, literally every single person I have talked to in the past 3 months it was intellectually pleasing experience, okay? 2022, the mobilization, end of 2022, the mobilization was organized very, very clumsy. Biggest problem was lack of coordination and synchronization among different government agencies responsible or directly or indirectly involved into mobilization. For example, I'm going to give you a real world example. I've seen these examples many, I'd say dozens and dozens, because everyone comes for breakfast and shares his experience of how he ran away. For example, a man would come home, and mobilization officers would be waiting for him with a police officer, and they would force on him on taking the document called повестка and sign for it. The повестка usually says that a person must show up at the mobilization center for clarifications, within in a few days, in 2 or 3 days, within 2 or 3 days. Sometimes they give you the date. And then a lot of people, what they did is they took the повестка, or повестка were served to their loved ones, husbands, not husbands, wives, parents, and so forth. They would get this document. They would immediately pack up, withdraw as much money as they could get from their bank accounts, would take a cab to airport and get out of Russia at the closest flight available. Or they would jump into a bus or a taxi cab and they would drive to Minsk, Belarus. Belarus and Russia is like a union, one state with no border. And the thing is, Belarusians don't care about the Russian citizens. They don't check your status, mobilization status. They just let you out. So hundreds of thousands of Russians fled that way, that route. And what happened was, once the documents were served, no one cared. It's like mobilization people did their job. That's it. People at the border, they were doing their job, and they didn't have any information on whether the person had been served the papers on hands or not. They didn't care. Although they would turn some Russians, wouldn't let them out right in front of me. In a line at the airport, 5 people would turn down for some reason. I don't know what kind of reason, but it was more or less chaos. And there were lots of loopholes, and you just get through the loopholes. So this past first mobilization was very poorly organized. The mistakes were made. After 1 month of very active mobilization actions, cops, mobilization officers, searching everywhere, just getting anyone they could get, things started slowing down. Vladimir Putin announced that the mobilization goals were met. 300,000 people were mobilized about 5 weeks after the mobilization. And Sergei Shoigu, Minister of Defense, said the same thing, that the goals were met. Although Vladimir Putin talked the talk, he didn't walk the walk. He orally said that mobilization was over, but he never produced any document with his signature saying it's over, okay? It was just his words. From what I heard, more people have been mobilized over the last couple months after Vladimir Putin announced that it was over. So it wasn't really over. But I mean, we are used to his announcements like that, In late November, preparation for new mobilization started. I think it became clear that this mass of new mobilized servicemen, they did not create a major breakthrough. They just slowed things down. And I think people in the government, they understood that, the only thing is to get more people mobilized. You see, the start of this new mobilization happened on November 25th. Vladimir Putin gave the start. And I always look at the signs, small signs, small things happening. And I try to put them into a big picture. And on November 25th, this thing went unnoticed by most Russians, as usual. Vladimir Putin ordered to create a new super database synchronized with all different agencies, including tax service, border patrol offices, KGB, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Digitalization, Central Bank, and so forth, So one huge mega super database of all information of Russian men who are subjects of mobilization. Where they live, what they do, what kind of credits they have, everything. And he ordered to complete the database by April 1st, which to me is a kind of a joke, no pun intended, because it's smoke over the water. April 1st is far away from now. And then it's a signal to Russians, hey, don't worry, okay? It's going to get very slow turn. We're not going to rush creating this database. That's going to take us months and months. In reality, I think it was completed by the end of 2022, and it's operational. It's, all set and ready to go. The key is ready to be turned, so to speak. This database, its goal, I think, is for, well, first of all, to monitor uh, information about the potential mobilizees, and it's a system of, I call it this digital iron curtain. Once you press the button and it starts operating, you turn on the key. Anyone who is a subject of potential mobilization is not allowed to leave Russia. The new iron curtain, digital iron curtain, lowered. That's what I think this system is. So that's a small sign, but to me it's a huge sign, okay? But it went mostly unnoticed. But I must admit, Russian government did not hide it. It did not lie about it. It was out there in the public, in the open, saying Vladimir Putin ordered this by, to complete by April 1st. Then a slew of other signs followed, and I'm gonna name you a few. Sergei Shoigu, Minister of Defense, announced on December 30th that the mobilization was over. Now, why would he do that? He announced exactly just that 2 months ago. Doesn't make any sense. Well, he's kind of conditioning, preparing people. Former press secretary of Ministry of Defense confirmed in an interview that there would be another larger wave of mobilization. A very clear sign to me, on 20th of December of 2022, Vladimir Putin, by an order, created a mobilization committee taking care of that, taking care of all mobilization questions. Am I the only person who it sounds not logical to create such a commission after mobilization is over? First, he announced it was over, and later he created the commission, unified commission for the questions of mobilization. Another sign. On 27th of December, head of central bank, Russia's central bank, suggested to mobilize those people who have debts that are unpaid and are subject to collectors' actions. Now, why would she do something like that in normal time? That would beat me. But I think that's one of those small pieces of puzzle that kind of is placed and it reveals a bigger picture. Of course, the New Year address of Vladimir Putin was so militarized, it was actually quite unbelievable. And the entire New Year celebration was under a sign of military. The high-ranking officers were everywhere on TV, was this military agenda is being pushed to people, it's very, very clear. All of a sudden, tons of commercials showed up promoting servicemen, promoting mobilization, promoting people jumping with happiness into mobilization, And the last sign, Shoigu, not too long ago, proposed Vladimir Putin to increase the number of troops in the army by a very large number. And Vladimir Putin agreed. If it's not the signs that something big is coming, that's what the signs are. So things like that, they have given me a gut feeling that the mobilization is coming. Something big is going to go down in Russia. Now, why? Why they need to do that? Like I said, breakthrough didn't happen. The first mobilization, 300,000 people, and that number is official. We don't really know in reality how many people were mobilized. The rumors have it. I heard different numbers. Official numbers, 100,000 people, and unofficial numbers, rumors, 1,200,000. But I don't believe that the number is too high, okay? I think the biggest deal here is they don't tell us how many people have been killed, okay? And that tells you something. So anyway, why another mobilization? Because Putin needs to do something. Putin is losing the war. He clearly understands that. He has two aces in the hole. One is mobilization, more people, and second, number two, is nuclear weapons. He's not going to use nuclear weapons. That's going to be the end of him physically the very same second. He knows that. So I think that nukes is something that he scares people with, but he's not gonna use them. I was afraid of a couple months ago. I changed my opinion. I'm not too worried about nukes anymore, but mobilization, I'm really worried. And Vladimir Putin is in Zugzwang. If you play chess, that's a position where any move you make will bring you into a worse position. The only thing they can try to do is to throw so much more people to the front lines, to try to tip the scale back to their favor. And that's pretty much it. And therefore, he has kind of no choice. It's either this situation continues, Ukrainians pushing, and sooner or later they will get to the Russian border. So he does something, he mobilizes, he throws so many more people into the front lines and see what happens. So I'm pretty sure that mobilization will be announced very soon. Now, how this mobilization is going to be different from the previous one? Why this one, 2023, is 2.0, upgraded, improved, new version? Well, because Russian government always learns from mistakes. Yes, it is clumsy, it does make mistakes, it is very slow to get going, but after it gets going, it always learns from mistakes and it fixes many mistakes. And it has fixed mistakes already. The creation of this super mega database is definitely a fixing of this mistake. They're not going to let people out of Russia again. They made a mistake. 2 million people left. Their kids, the husbands, their kids, and their wives following. Someone already followed. Someone will join them. Right now, I'm seeing families uniting every single day. And anyway, that's a different story. But the government will not let it happen again. It's closing the border with Minsk, with Belarus, and it has a digital curtain lowering around Russia. This is going to be soft. This is not going to be announced like the previous one was announced on the September 21st, because there's no need. You see, the previous one, like I said, Vladimir Putin, he doesn't walk the walk, but he talks the talk. He said it was over, but it was just the words. Therefore, it's not over. There's no paper. There's a paper that there's an order, presidential order, creating the mobilization. But to end it, you need another order ending it. Okay, there is no ending order. So therefore, it's still active, and no one needs to announce it. No one needs to make a big deal. Like when he announced on the 21st, it was a big deal. People got scared. People got, started freaking out, running. Now they're gonna be doing it silently. They most likely have isolated a few categories of men, and they will start with those who don't pay alimonies, child support. They will probably get help of ex-wives of those men. Because, when it gets down to alimonies, then the wives usually not happy campers and they want to get the money. They would do anything to get the money. Therefore, they would just send their ex-husbands to get mobilized. Then, second category is probably those who are in debt to banks and they probably past due, and they probably not paying, and they probably, with under collectors procedures. I have seen some papers signed by like informational letter signed by head of central bank, but I'm not sure whether it's true or fake. We'll see soon. And then number 3, they will start getting everyone else. And they're not going to do it all at once, but they're going to use the stepping stone strategy again. Okay. Not 100 at once, not 1,000 people in 1 week. No social disturbance anymore, no fires at mobilization centers, but quietly, silently, one by one, here, there, and I think they have some time to prepare. They learned the mistake that once you get so many people at once, you must provide with training, with ammunition, with weapon, and it's difficult, all at once. But if you have the slow process, then it's much easier, much more effective. I think that mistake that the government made in the past, it learned from that mistake. They will have some time, perhaps quite some time, to get ready for big offensive. And it might happen in March, April, I don't know. But I think that's what the goal is, to mobilize lots and lots of people and start big offensive. Prepared. This time, at least more prepared than what they did last time. Well, the thing is, Ukrainians, they're not going to be sitting and waiting. They're going to be preparing as well. Again, they will not have Russians leave the country. Very soon, they're gonna lower the digital Iron Curtain. And whoever refuses to go and get mobilized, they will be punished by real prison times. People are serving already. I'm not sure, I don't have the statistics of how many, but I'm pretty sure there are quite a few. And I think there are tons of people under investigation because Russian legal system works. They charge you with something and then it takes months for the investigation to be completed. So therefore, it's only been 3 months since the beginning of the 2022 mobilization. So lots of people are still haven't been convicted under investigations. And I think that's what the strategy for this new, softer, more gentle, but more deadly and much more effective mobilization is. And at the very end of the stream, as I promised, I'm going to tell you why I think January 17th. This is my analysis, my gut feeling. I do not have any inside information. I'm telling you right away. The perfect time to start, to lower Iron Curtain around Russia would be tomorrow, Christmas Day. Because look what happened. Lots of people left Russia. Lots of, runaways fled in late September and in early October, 3 months ago. And there's such a thing as culture shock. When you leave, when you run, when you move, when you immigrate, you go through a very tough psychological process called culture shock. And the process lasts for 6 months. And first 3 months are the worst. And the lowest point emotionally, when you just feeling so ugly, is month 3 right now. Lots of people, they're seeing that nothing is happening in Russia. People are let out of Russia these days. They're thinking, you know what, maybe I should go for a little bit. I haven't been served the papers. No one is after me, and I will be able to leave. So they come back for New Year holidays. I personally know quite a few people who have. One of my colleagues has. And they're coming back on January 7th, January 8th, when the holidays end. And this right now would be the perfect day to actually start not letting them out of the country. Ukrainians destroyed this opportunity for Russian government to do that because Ukrainian Minister of Defense publicly addressed Russian men revealing this plan. He said that according to Ukrainian intelligence, Russia was going to implement new digital Iron Curtain on January 5th. Therefore, he suggested everyone would run. And if Russia cannot start doing it right now, because if it did, it would just show that it cannot contain any secrets, and Ukrainian intelligence knows everything that Russian government does. So I take it that they postponed this date of the start of this Iron Curtain by a week or 10 days. I think then that, this will start happening on the 17th, perhaps a few days earlier. I'm not sure, but there's a gut feeling. Something is telling me it's going to be 15th or 17th. 14th, actually. It's Friday, I think. But anyway, mark my words. We'll see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I am feeling like a huge tragedy, even a bigger tragedy than has been happening for the past 11 months. A bigger one is waiting to happen. I am lost. I'm feeling lost and I'm feeling confused because I don't really know what to do about it, how to prevent it. I talked to lots of Russian people about that. A lot of them laugh at me, saying, hey, you know what, you overthink too much. Oh, you fantasize, everything's okay. Everything's, they're not touching us. Okay, the mobilization is over. And this is what I've heard. From some people I know, from some members of my family, I have offered help to numerous people. I have offered shelter. I have offered food, place to stay, I offered help to get around in Uzbekistan at first, to get a job, things like that. But my apartment is empty. There's no one except for my wife and son. And a few people came and went, but no one has stayed. I'm feeling very uneasy. I don't know what to do. I feel this is a huge, huge disaster for both countries. More blood will be shed. If you have any idea what can be done, please let me know in the comments. And this has been my message for today. Thank you so very much for giving me a chance and listening. Tough one today. Thank you, my friends. I'm turning on the comments. Please let me know what you think. Give me feedback in the comments. I'll be happy to ask your questions and just to see what you have to say. Before I turn on the comments, I ask you to help me spread my message. If you found this message interesting, please make a repost in your social media accounts. And also, please join my Telegram channel called Inside Konstantin's Russia. The description, the link is in the description below this video. This is the place where I make announcements and give updates on my channel. So thank you very much. Turning on the comments. Some people in the comments, bash me for slurping and drinking tea in front of camera. I apologize. My throat gets dry because of talking too much, and this is not a matter of pleasure, it's just a matter of comfort. I just opened the comments, and there's a huge super chat from Jason Carney. Jason, thank you so much. I appreciate your serial support. Much needed and very appreciated. But what is even more pleasant for me than money is knowing that there's a person who values my work, my opinion, my actions so much that supports such in such huge amounts. Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you. I appreciate it. Lorna, mommy, Harry, Harry's back. Black Cat, Bob, Amir, the entire crew is here. Howdy, howdy, mods, and howdy, howdy, usual suspects. Great to see the usual suspect names. Thank you so much. If you want me to notice your comment, please put it in caps and put inside Russia after @ so it appears in a large orange box for me. Thank you so very, very much. Amir has just gifted sponsorship of Inside Russia to 5 people. Thank you so very much. Tomorrow, I remind you, tomorrow there is a private stream coming up. I'll be joined by a special guest, my wife. We'll give you some personal experience of past weeks in Uzbekistan. We'll talk about the plans, upcoming plans. The private streams for sponsors and patrons is my way of thanking you for your support. Thank you. Join tomorrow at the usual time, 10 p.m. Uzbekistan. John Wakamatsu, very sad topic, and what a loss of lives. John and friends, if you know, I don't know what I can do. I've tried and tried and tried. You know, I've tried going talking to one person at a time, and it seems like I failed. No one is here. No one has left. I don't understand how they don't understand that things are gonna get changed. They won't let people out of Russia anymore. But it's sad. John from Los Angeles, thank you for your support. Malti Daki, good evening from Germany. Howdy, howdy. Iron Chops, greetings from Yorktown, Virginia, USA. This is great to know that there are so many people from different countries. This entire world is basically sitting right here in this community. Abandoned Liver, hi. Pretty cool name. Good evening from Frankfurt on Main. Coffee cake as usual, thank you. Chirper. Mom of two, Masha and Niels. Hello, Konstantin. Well, I'm glad you noticed. Tom, what camera do you use? I am using good old iPhone 14 Pro Max. Been using it for the past year. Ginger Hadley, without the ability to procure weapons, medical supplies, food, uniforms and boots, and everything else, how could mobilization even be effective? Good question, and I agree with you. They just throw people, keep on throwing people. That's the tactics that Russia has used for centuries. That's the tactics that was used in World War II and in World War I. In World War II, it actually worked. Over 20 million people. 20 million people were killed. Think about that. And then that's official statistics. And then there are rumors, well, not rumors, unofficial data, then even more. I've heard the number of 30 million. It's just crazy. Imagine that. But the World War II was won, and people were just thrown and thrown and thrown. And I think that's what they're doing here. They're not using modern warfare tactics like Ukrainians are. They're just using the old stuff they know. And this is tragedy. Rudy Kaisley, howdy. China has been shipping acquired uniforms and other soldiers' kit by large air transport shipments, enough for another 1 million men. Tea leaves predict. Tea leaves predict. The heck is that? Tea leaves predict. Rudy, I agree with you. I've heard that too. And also, think about this. In my previous streams about Russian economy, I'm planning on releasing a video in a couple days. Not live stream, but a video. There are two parts of Russian economy that are doing better than before. First is clothing. So many new uniforms they are sewing. Another one is manufacturing of details from metal. They don't say what it is, but we can all guess. Those two things have increased in production by a great deal compared to 2020 and 2021. Everything else is down. So besides China, I think Russia is catching up as well. We have a new sponsor, Aquila Star. Welcome to Inside Russia. And Jason has also given this gift of sponsorship to 5 people. Jason, double thanks. Thank you so very much. Very appreciated. Dory, thank you so much. Enjoying, conversation with you. Thank you. Nico, do a human chain around Russia. Well, first of all, I don't know what Balticum is. Do a human chain around Russia. Well, I've done quite a bit here in Uzbekistan. What do you mean by human chain? I have a group of people, mostly Russian, some Ukrainians. I have plans for this group for next year. I have done some financial help, and things like that. But I don't understand what the human chain is for. Jazzcam, thank you so much for your support. And Vel, Zaviduk, you sound Ukrainian. If you are, it's a pleasure. Thank you so very much. Mom of 2, Natasha and Nils, also thank you so very much. Kiwi, thank you for your support. Damian Da Silva, the man with fantastic questions. Thank you for your support. What can be done, my friend? Every Russian and every Western country knows in their hearts that Russians must rise up. Dangerous, yes. Life-threatening, yes. But it's the only way. Those who left must go back and save Russia. Well, if you're talking about me, as soon as I go back to Russia, I will not go back. It's just it'll be waste. Those who left Russia must come back. I don't know many people who are coming back. I don't know what to answer on this question. I don't see any Russians rising up at masses. There are so many. It's not like all Russians left Russia, just 2 million, which is what, a little over 1%. 99.5% they have stayed. Are they rising up? What can I personally help? What can I do? You tell me. Should I rise up? Where? How? And when? Tomasz Miklos. Tomasz Miklos, thank you so very much again. I see this tremendous support from you. Thank you from Hungary. From From the bottom of my heart, thank you so very much. Just Terry, agreed. This is a sad stream. Nico, in the Baltic states, they organize human chain of people from Vilnius till up in Estland. It broke Gorbachev's government then, and they get independent from Russia. It was in the 96 or so, I believe. No, not in 96. Not in 86. I think I remember something like that. 1989. I think late 1989. But it wasn't just about the chain. It was about them rising up, all of them, flooding the streets, flooding government buildings and things like that. There was OMON given orders, and there were deaths there. But then at the end, Russians backed out. I remember what's happening at my lifetime. How can we organize a human chain? Honestly, I don't see how it's possible. You know, if I knew that I myself can do something by going back to Russia, and even if I get arrested, but I knew that it would change, it would make a difference, I would. But I just don't see how it would. Riviere 1862. Hi Constantine, all we can do is pray to our Lord Jesus Christ. Our Lord says, when two or more are gathered in my name, I am there in the midst of you. The power of prayer is the only way to end this. Thank you. Pray more than once a day. I pray with everyone. I pray with you. And by the way, thank you for joining me in prayer. I usually watch statistics. Not too many people drop. Usually most people stay until the end. So thank you so much for praying or watching us pray. And I also pray in my private time, you know. I certainly do that, and I never fail doing that. X-Flying Tiger, Lake Shasta online. May God give you peace. Answers come when the mind is peaceful. My mind is far from peaceful. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you being the usual suspect. Das Nield has just given sponsorship to 10 people. Thank you so very much. Again, a reminder, please come tomorrow for a more light-hearted stream. Usually it's more fun. Natasha, she's absolutely fantastic. She's a jewel of any stream. Okay, always. She'll be joining us, me and you. Aquila Star, glad you're out and keeping us informed. That helps all people. The most prayers to you and your family. Thank you. Thank you so much. New sponsor, Golden Lady. Welcome to Inside Russia. Thank you. And Nico again, you get most of the 2 million and do the chain around Russia. Get public and TV, use the power of TV. You get most of 2 million and do the chain around Russia. Well, you know what? Let me discuss this. Tomorrow, every morning, I go and I meet my friends, my new friends, Russian-Ukrainian Breakfast Club in Tashkent. There will be about 20 people tomorrow, perhaps more because it's Sunday. Saturday. Usually more people show up. And we're going to have a large event on Sunday, a lecture, and there will be more than 50 people. I will discuss this tomorrow with them. See what they think. see what their take on that. So thanks, Nico, for suggesting. I'm not letting it go. I'll think about this and I'll discuss it with people. Sam Markovich, human chain, many protesting people stay in line and holding hands. I think Belarusian attempted to do something like that back in 2020 when protesting against Lukashenko regime. Well, they failed, but they tried, yes. Just Janine, howdy. Do what you're doing. Kevin, thank you. Well, I definitely will keep on doing that. Thank you. Mia, Russians need to fight for Russia, otherwise Russia will turn to North Korea. How is it possible that nobody takes responsibility for their own country? Good question. If you know the answer, let me know, please. An easy bean, wheezy. The best thing you can do is what you're doing now. Thank you. I feel it's not enough. I feel disappointed. You see, when I came to Tajikistan, well, I actually did come to Tajikistan. I flew to Tajikistan and I walked over the border to Uzbekistan. So I stayed with my friend for a few days and I kind of exhaled, if you know what I mean, calmed down. And I started looking for apartment and I found a large one. This apartment is huge. It's the biggest apartment I've ever lived on. It's expensive, not hugely expensive. There are more expensive apartments, more luxury. This isn't that luxury. It's like mid-century chic by American standards, but it's huge. It's 170 square meters, so it's 1,700 square feet. And my idea was this. There are so many people leaving. Whoever needs a place to stay, they're welcome to stay here. All I need is this room for streaming, and I have 3 bedrooms, and I have a large like storage room, and I can fit like so many people. I had my family in mind at first, and friends, and basically anyone who would come and say, "Hey, I need a place to stay." We had a guy showed up with a tent who stayed in a tent outside of Tashkent. I offered him a place to stay, but he refused. He found a job. He rented an apartment, so he's much better. The thing is, I'm disappointed because no one has come. My relatives, they're not taking this serious. They're just easy-go-lucky, I guess. Oh, it's over, mobilization over, we're gonna be all right. And no matter how loud I tried to scream, no matter what words I used, no one has come. Mikhail Werner, many Russians in Finland, and they're welcome, and many also come to Sweden, and they're welcome there also. A lot of people were asking me, what do you think, like over a few months period, they asked me, Konstantin, what do you think, what's the fate of Europe will be? And I have very clear answer. I think Europe is going to shine in the long run, in the short run. I know it's going to be very difficult because Russia does not supply oil. Well, Europeans don't buy oil from Russia any longer, and no gas. I know it's like an alcoholic stop drinking. It really is difficult, but once he becomes or she becomes sober, that's much easier. So I think that Europe is going to shine because of what you just said, because Russians are welcome in Finland and Sweden, in most of the countries, and they actually treated well. In Russia, the propaganda is just brainwashing everyone, saying, "Oh, you know what? They hate Russians. They're Russophobes. Don't you ever step your foot outside of Russia because you're gonna be, assaulted. You're gonna be mistreated and so forth." And reality is so different. And I think Europeans have such great values that these values, they're so full of love, mercy, empathy. These values, they will pull you through anything, my friend and my friends. I really admire you, and I would like to thank you so very much for not making Russians like stray dogs, if you know what I mean. Thank you so much. Nico, thank you again. Another question. My feelings say that the 2 million don't have a voice. They should be heard. Best wishes. How? How? I have a group of 170 people now. What should I do? What kind of voice I can provide? Does Nield, thank you for 10 gifts, gift of 10 sponsorships to everyone. Thank you. Is it another one or already saw this one? Thank you. Aquila Star 1, thank you again. Laura Ambrosio, I feel like the only good answer to Putin's actions could come from NATO and other very powerful countries. Point taken. It's not a question, it's a statement, and point taken. Thank you very much, Laura, for the support. Luke King, howdy, my friend. The very usual suspect and supporter. The government need men and war materials. Mobilization is for men. But how will the government get the economy to become a wartime economy? Thanks a lot for the streams. I can only imagine how much effort this takes. Luke, it has gotten to a point where it's taking most of my time. But you know what? That's okay, because I don't know how I would be able to live without streaming, without like being heard every single day. So it's okay. How will the government get the economy to become wartime economy? 2 days ago I talked about it. They have legal foundation set, new laws. All they have to do is switch the button, okay, and that's it. Private companies will be mandated by the government, by commissars, what to produce, what price to sell to the government, and Russian citizens who work employed by state-owned military industrial complex enterprises, they are stripped of their rights to unionize, to basically they can be made to work at certain rate and they cannot quit. They can be forced to work overtime. They can be placed to work night shifts and things like that. Like things like this are not allowed under current labor law in Russia, but the war-like economy will allow to do that. And the infrastructure is already, they made tons of new laws that allow that. Okay, that's how they're gonna switch, and they will switch soon. Some old dude, thank you so much. Thank you for huge support. I really appreciate it. There's a question. But first of all, I think it was my wife. She was watching the stream and there was another support from you, and I acknowledged publicly. I said, some old dude, thank you. And she heard that and she told me, you can't call people some old dude. It's so rude. You know, how do you call them? Just call them by name or just call them nicely. And I said, Natasha, you know, that's person's nickname, some old dude. So what is in the Bible says about a prophet in his own country? Constantine, you're a prophet in the true Old Testament fashion. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. I'm not feeling easy. I'm tormented from the inside. Today is Christmas, by the way. Merry Christmas, Russian Eastern Orthodox Christmas. Um, Thank you, some old Jude. Thank you. I'll think about it, but I don't know what to say. I know what Bible says about the prophet in his own country. I forgot how to say it in English, but in Russian. Нет пророка в своем отечестве. Gideon Evers, thank you so much for your support. Thank you. No message, but this message is heard. Thank you so much. Black Cat, thank you. Merry Christmas to you too. I'm gonna tomorrow wake up and I'm gonna make a community post about Christmas, and I'm gonna make a video not so cheerful but truthful about what's happening with Russian Eastern Orthodox Church right now, with Russian president, and how there's a ceasefire, and now how they're blaming Ukrainians of not catching up on this ceasefire. And anyway, just tune in tomorrow. Michael Martin, thank you so much. Blessed and Merry Christmas to you too. Mia, according to Skibitsky of the GUR, Russia is preparing to announce mobilization of another 500,000 people. I'm afraid that's going to be more than that. I think that's just the official numbers, not to get people too terrified, so to speak, but Jeffrey asks, at least one with the fudge, please. Sad, Jeffrey, I'm feeling sad. I don't feel like just emotionally screaming all the fudge and things like that. It's one of those days, you know. Kumik, thank you so much for huge support. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what to say. Thank you from me and Natasha from the bottom of my heart. The one and only, great question. If they sacrifice all young men, who will take care of Russia's future? The offset. They don't care. All they care, they need to somehow end this horrendous situation and win over it. This situation they have put themselves into. Well, he put himself into. And he doesn't care what's going to happen in 1 year from now, 5 years from now. He doesn't care about Russian people whatsoever. Just all his desires, all his wishes to hang on to power for as long as possible. And that means he needs a win, or at least an exit, not a win, but exit, so he can somehow keep his face inside Russia. He doesn't care about the world anymore. He needs to keep his power. Anything, any loss, it'll mean the end to him, his power, most likely life. You know, he knows that. He'd do anything. So he does not care how many young men. The one and only, you gotta understand, it's been done. Over 2 million young men have fled Russia, the best of the best, the cream of the crop. They have left. Most of them not coming back. They don't want to. Most of them start making plans for their future someplace else. They are very professional people, smart. I'm telling you, every single person I have spoken here in my breakfast club is intellectually pleasing. It's not one single person I don't want to speak with. Okay, it's always a pleasure to meet everyone. Doctors, attorneys, engineers, athletes, you name it. Just all kinds of professionals here. Incredible. The future of Russia has already collapsed. Demographic future of Russia, you know. And on top of that, so many young men died in Ukraine. Just crazy. Darla Potechin, I missed the beginning. How do we know the 17th? Let me acknowledge a couple super chats and I will let you know. Val Zaviduk, where did you learn English? I learned English a little bit in school. Then, when I was 20, I came to the United States. I spent 9 years in Maine, in Northeast, and that's where I basically learned how to speak English. The best English school has been the last year. Every single night, I go out live and I stream and I speak for 1 hour, 2 hours sometimes. And this is a tremendous practice in English. I think my English has improved in this past year tremendously. Lorna, Mommy, EMS paramedic, Frank in Texas, let me know what you think. My English level. Is it better or you haven't seen the difference? Well, so this is where I learned. Jeffrey S., thank you so much. Appreciate it. Darla, I missed the beginning. How do we know it's the 17th? I think it was supposed to be the 5th or the 6th, and the Ukrainian intelligence busted. The Ukrainian Minister of Defense came out and said, you know what, Russians get out of Russia, Russian men get out of Russia while it's still possible, because soon it won't be. On the 5th, your country will start closing the borders. And they cannot do that right now. They have to wait for a few days. And I think that they're going to wait 10 or 12 days. So it's my gut feeling there are some small signs that point to the 17th, but this is in my imagination. Soon we will find out whether I am right or I am wrong. Leslie Fleming, too bad Russian Orthodox Church seems to like Putin. Not only it seems to like Putin, it's part of the government, unfortunately. Carino, Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you so much. Likewise. Thank you. Cabrio driving, what do you think about Poland? I think Poland is a great country. Polish people are very brave. They actually stood up for their freedom. I wish Russians would do the same. I know quite a few Polish. I have a couple Polish friends, one in the United States, one in Warsaw. Great guys. I mean, the Slavs, great guys, great. That's every time I see a Polish guy or girl coming here and saying something in a live chat, it really touches my heart. It warms my heart, because knowing such a history between our countries, horrible history, when people come and say something nice, it just makes me feel happy. I think so. A plus, Oля. I think no profit, no profit in your own nation. Нет пророка в Отечестве. Dory, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you too. Shield Maiden, you need to get that cough checked out. You see, I know myself well. When I get sick, and I was sick violently for three weeks ago, it usually takes from any time from 2 to 4 weeks for my cough to disappear. And this is week 3 going on to 4, so it'll be okay soon. CA Mountain Girl, about tech friends. I will think about it. I will talk about it. All right. We'll thanks. Point taken. Lars, Merry Christmas to you and family. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. I appreciate the support, and that the words are priceless. Thank you. Tom W. Good question. Are you seeing a new wave of rats coming across the border? Small stream. You see, when I was leaving, there was a huge river of rats leaving. Right now, there will be a short stream because this is the whole purpose. They have learned from their mistakes, old mistakes. They have created this digital iron curtain and they're going to lower it. They won't let anyone out, plain and simple. Of course, there will be people who, one way or another, bribing, I don't know, doing something that would get out, but not as many. They're not going to be a majority. They're not going to be a river, small stream. Des Neil, thank you so much. I don't know what to say. Nick Knight, why are you not a U.S. permanent resident, having lived in the USA for so many years? Well, not only I lived in the United States for so many years, but I also was married to a very good woman who is American. And I have 2 children with her. They all live in Maine. We left the United States. I actually, you know what, I'm not going to be talking about that here right now a lot. There is a video I made quite some time ago. It's called The Real Reason Why I Left America to Come Back to Russia. Watch it. Plain and simple. I explain why it happened in that video. Joe Rames, thank you so much. I think you're overestimating me by a great deal. Thank you. Amir, Merry Christmas, my brother, and to your better half, Natasha and Michael as well. And special hugs to Mom. Amir, thank you so very much. Great you back. Hope you've taken care of all the power plants. Flavius89, do you think Russia will advance more by throwing people in the conflict? This is a 19th century strategy. They will not advance. They will lose. But they will take lots of people along with them. This is a 19th century strategy, but they just don't know better. The way that they're conducting this war is a laughingstock, okay? They can't do anything right. They just grab the power, seize the power, and then not letting it go. Everything else, whatever they touch, becomes. They have anti-Midas touch, you know. Diana spent last couple of days taking part in an international farming conference. Russia has made a big impact, learning to do without fertilizer and shift toward food security. Russia has seems like has messed up everywhere. Andrew Hyde, thank you so much. Respect from Cambridge, UK. Thanks for providing the world with your thoughts, thoughtful analysis, Constantine. Also, your English is excellent. Not so excellent as I wish it would be, but thank you. And I'm trying. Cambridge, UK. There's a Cambridge University right next to Cambridge School, I think it's called, right next to the place where I live in Tashkent. Anyway, thanks for the support and very appreciated, but the words, they're heartwarming and motivating and they're priceless. Thank you. Mom of two, Masha and Nils. My friend's husband needs a prayer. Will do. Hang on. My friend's husband needs a prayer. His name is Lars. He has pretty bad pancreas cancer. Aye. Lars. The heck? There's a huge shadow on my face from the microphone. That's interesting. He has pretty bad pancreas cancer already spread to his liver. Please say a good word to the Lord. Will. Thank you so much, Mom of two. Thank you. Not just me, but will. Jekyll N, thank you so much for your support from Australia. Thank you. Aaron Love, low. I've done it again late. It's no problem. Thank you. Tilambus, any news on the suggested conscription of young women without children? Don't make a mistake. You're making a mistake. We're not talking about conscription. We're talking about mobilization. That's two different things. Every Russian man, when he turns 18, must be conscripted. It's a law. That way you pay due to your debt to your country, so to speak, which is understandable. Lots of countries doing that. But we're talking about mobilization. That's people who have already served in the army or who have never served in the army, not supposed to be serving in the army. They just taken out of their peaceful lives and thrown into Ukraine to kill Ukrainians, as many as they can. That's basically what's going on. So any news on suggested mobilization of young women without children, it's not going to happen. There is one category of women who are subject to mobilization: doctors and medical personnel, nurses, anyone who's in medical field. They are subjects of mobilization. But this is an old Russian law. It's not new. In time of war or whatever, special military operation, women who are doctors, who are nurses, they're mobilized to tend to the wounded. Okay? And this is so far the only thing I know about young women with children, without children, doesn't matter. I heard a case, again, I didn't witness it, but I heard that a pregnant woman, 30 weeks due, or 30 weeks through the pregnancy, was mobilized back in March. No, sorry, not in March, back in September. Pregnant with like big belly and stuff. Again, it's a rumor. I'm not sure whether it's true or not, but I believe in it. I believe it. Because she was a doctor. I have heard of stories that girls, ladies, who graduated and got diplomas as doctors, but they haven't worked as doctors for ages. They were mobilized. So that's the only category so far that I know. James Fisher, is there a chance women getting called up? I just answered this question. Ferrari guy, do you suggest other YouTube resources to those people in your group like Vlad Vexler? Well, I suggest Vlad Vexler, definitely. I suggest couple Ukrainian bloggers that are very famous. I suggest who else? Joe Bro. Please forgive me, Joe. Joe Broke, bro. Joe. Hang on one second. Better look it up. Yes, Joe Bro. BROE. Um, Start with these two bloggers and you'll get a great deal of information. Vlad Vexler and Joe Bro. Danny, why Russian people say always, I'm not good at politics? Are they scared? Politics is dirty business in Russia. Perhaps they are scared. I haven't heard of all saying, I'm not good at politics. A lot of people say, I don't care about politics. I don't vote because I think everything is decided, without me. But I've never heard people actually saying not good at politics. Video games man, thank you so much for your support. Every single dollar counts these days. Iggy Fresh, 2 million people voiced their disagreement by leaving the country. And you're absolutely right. I'm one of them. I voiced disagreement. I'm made it loud and clear, and I'm heard. Brother Randall, thank you so much. Constantine, time is up, says Nightbot. Sophie, I have a very important question. My friend is 22 and from Russia. So far, he hasn't served in the army yet because he did his diploma. Now he's studying for a master's degree. Is he safe? I'm afraid I hate to be the bearer of the bad news, but he's gonna be called up. No way he's safe. Russia is on the verge of announcing the total war. That's gonna be holy war. War for survival. That's how it's going to be served to Russian people. Just like World War II, when there's a holy war, all for victory. You must give up your life for victory. This is gonna be the same thing. It's crazy how we've gotten like 18 years ago, everything was fine. And now this. Anyway, Russia is on the verge of a huge event, huge mobilization, and they're gonna be grabbing everyone. 22 years old, prime suspect. He's the first one who's they gonna knock on the door at. So, Sophie, I'm sorry, that's my answer. Starbright, people interviewed by 1420 often say they're not good in politics. Well, perhaps they mean they don't care about politics or they're not informed about politics. But what is this? I'm not good at politics. Are you a politician? That you're not good at politics? Carmen, Jake Bro is a veteran and a YouTuber following the war in Ukraine. Great guy. I enjoy his videos a lot. You know, if you don't watch him, I suggest you go and do. Welcome to Inside Russia. Gemma Fortuny Altariba. Sorry about the name. Welcome to Inside Russia. Quist 1984, thank you. Mr. Good Guy, love you, friend. Here do you good. Thank you for your support. Money is very appreciated. These days, especially, but you know what? Your words are priceless. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Prayers for you. Red Gear, when do you think this war end? 2023, I think. Jones Rames disgusted that Musk reinstated General Flynn to Twitter. Is it traitor to the U.S.? Guys, let's not fight over American politics. That would be very, very unfortunate event, you know. Yes, I said Jake Bro, of course. Joe Blogs is also a great guy. I watch sometimes. The thing is, I don't really have time to watch. I used to watch lots of bloggers, but I time is the commodity that I lack so much these days. I wish there were like 48 hours in a day, but unfortunately, I don't sleep. The free minute, I'd rather like go and sleep because I severely undersleep, you know. So that's why I was confusing Joe and Jake. I apologize, guys. Joe Blogs and Jake Bro, of course. Dave Strains, you saved my life. I'm not sure who saved your life. Dave. Newburyport Greeley's. Do you have any book recommendations to help better understand the current situation? Definitely not any book that's been written recently. I haven't read anything that recent. If you want to understand the situation, you really have to go back to the classics. Read Franz Kafka. Um, Read anything that will help you understand the behavior of dictators, how dictators are born. Read about Germany. Um, yes, I do. I do. Um, Im Westen nicht Neues. Everything is quiet on the Western Front by Erich Maria Remarque. German. It's about Germany after World War One. If you read anything, just go read these books. He has like three famous books about how Germans were fighting in World War One, about how German soldier came back after the war and how he was lost, who was trying to find himself, and the third one I don't remember, but incredible books. Start with Im Westen nichts Neues. Just you can't go wrong with that. That's one of my most favorite books. Um, that's it. Rudy Kaisley, thank you so much. And Terry Wold, welcome to Inside Russia. My friends, it's time to wrap up and pray. Thank you so very much for coming today, giving me giving me um, chance to speak, listening to me. Thank you. Let's pray. If you're religious, non-religious, doesn't matter. Just pray, wish good to people along with me. Dear God, thank you so very much for giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables, giving us roofs over our heads, and surrounding us with the people who we love and who love us. Thank you. Please help our children, keep them safe and healthy, and help us raise them the way that they become right people with great values. They will make this place a better world, and they will never fight in wars with each other. Please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Reach out to people who can make this decision to stop and touch them in the way you know how to touch so they make this decision. Please help all those Ukrainians who have been affected by this terrible tragedy. Answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Provide them what they need. Surround them with your love and help and care. Give everyone in Ukraine an angel so the angels keep people from harm's way, so no more, not even one single drop of blood is shed anymore. Help my country, Russia, send the army of strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael, to get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country. Please send the angels soon. We really, really, really need them. Make angels run my country. Make it good. Make it peaceful. Make it a good neighbor to everyone. Make it, have people wake up in Russia, please. Help all those who are helping Ukrainians. God bless them. Please help those who are traveling. Send them safe travels. Help those who are seeking asylum in faraway lands. Send help and good people their way, please. Please send food to the hungry, shelter to the homeless, faith to the ones who need it, recovery and healing to the sick ones, and soothe the souls of the disturbed ones who need soothing and helping their souls, please. I would like to ask you to open the eyes of people in Russia who are responsible for making decision to mobilize more men and send them to the war. Please open their eyes, touch their hearts, fill them with love, mercy, empathy, remorse. Show them, open their eyes so they see what has been done already, and they would get terrified and they would make this decision to stop the bloodshed and not to mobilize anyone anymore. Show them Ukrainian children that are left without fathers and mothers, and Russian children left without fathers. Just have it touch their hearts. So no mobilization is announced and no one is killed anymore and no blood is shed anymore. Thank you. I would also like to ask you for all pregnant women who are trying to make this decision to keep their babies or not, reach out and talk to them so they make the right choice. And thank you so much for bringing us into this community. Thank you for allowing us to pray together. Thank you. Please help everyone who's praying along and or watching us pray. Hear and answer everyone's prayer and make everyone's wish come true. I have a few people I would like to ask you. They reached out and asked me to ask for help for them. They are Lars, who is having pancreas cancer. Please send them recovery, send them your help, send angels. Is most obviously suffering from pain, and please help his health. Send recovery. Please help Shirley and Debbie. Shirley needs recovery. Debbie needs strength to go through this hard times. Jen Allen, please help with depression. May the soul of Trent Davis rest in peace. Help Finola, Lisa's son and husband, Lars Henrik's mother, the highwayman. Please help with depression, anxiety, and faith. Essie from the Scottish Isles, Outlander family, Joy, Choriz and the family. Enjoy every minute's father who passed away. Please have his soul rest in peace, and please enjoy every minute strength to go through this very hard time. Please help Yelena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Galina, Igor, Karen from Maine, Janine, Michael Milkovitz, Marlene, Paul Binns, Rudy Kaisley, Richard, Mallory M., Dirk, James, Brittany S., Lars Henrik, Hannah and her children, Richard Burris, Angelic at Life, N2K, Skent's family's grandson, Grace, Barb, Randolph, Nelly, Arkady, Yuri, and everyone who is in Mykolaiv, Ukraine. Please help all the Ukrainians who are without electricity and heat. Send them help, send them heat, electricity, send them your love. Please help Harry's family, Verlinda's niece, Ian James, Doug, Rafaela From, Anna, Priscilla, Michelin, King Nero, Gaby Hyman, Donald, Deborah, Lisa's son, Jade, Allison Dave Moyers, Terry Scrugg, Janice Burgess, Maureen M. and her sister, Mr. Hanson, Heidi, Bob, Tony, Kayleen, Rob, Unil, Jennifer, Matt, Ashley and family, Mr. Dean Spooner and his church called Our Savior Lutheran Church, all the parish, Lisa Kumrian, please send help to get through this hard time. Send strength. Jacob, Adam Oliver, Treasure, Kyle's wife, Grace Philosophy, Maggie, Carmen's sister, Vladislav and his father Sergey. Please send recovery faster. Susie Myler, Gina and Wayfarer, EMS paramedic Liz, Lori Miles' husband Sherry, Layla, Philip's mother, and a few children I'd like to specifically ask for. They are Irina, Cadence, Maverick, Sebastian, Coulter, Theo, Madi. Please send recovery and send strength to their families and their parents. Show your miracle, please, to each one of them. Also asking for all children in Ukraine who has been affected. Please send help and love. and children of Russia who has been left without parents. Please also send help and love to them. Thank you, our dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for giving me a chance to speak, listening to me. Thanks for commenting, conversing, supporting, and thanks for praying with me. I see a couple more super chats appeared. Eileen, thank you so much. And Rico, thank you. Merry Christmas. Das Nield, also thank you very much. Thomas Robinson, peace soon. I'm praying for that too. Thank you. Um, my friends, I will talk to you, well, some of you tomorrow, because this time of a private live stream for sponsors and patrons, my way of saying thank you very much. And the general message will be in 2 days on Sunday, this coming Sunday. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm not sure whether it's going to be a lighthearted one or difficult, but that's for sure that it'll be interesting. Thank you so very much. Carthago delenda est.